Hey guys, welcome to episode 8 of the Studio Beginner Builder series. We've covered how to make things from scratch, how to get things for free. Today we're going to figure out how to upgrade anything with bonus objects, or at least that's what I'll call them. I'm talking about textures, lights, particles, etc., and you guys may not know what any of that is yet. So let's spawn in a part and get started. The first thing I'll go over is particles. These could be a video all by themselves, but I'll show you how they work, at least in the most basic form. You'll click this plus button in your Explorer next to any part you want to add something to, and all of this is what I'm calling bonus objects. Now there is a super huge list here. 90% of it you'll never use. Let's start with a texture. Once you add a texture into a part, you will have a few options. The first thing you need to do is set an image for this texture. Now I don't have any off the top of my head, so I'll go to Toolbox, Images, and sure, we'll use this eclipse image. Now I clicked on it and it went right inside the texture. That is not what we want. We simply want to click on its texture here, click Ctrl-C to copy it, and then we're going to paste it into our texture part right here. The main reason you would want to use a texture instead of a material is you can use textures on just one side if you wanted. Maybe this is a wall and you want the inside to look like the eclipse, but the outside to look like a white wall. Textures are very, very cool. Now there is another thing that's slightly identical to textures, and it's called a decal. I'm gonna put the texture ID inside of the decal, and I'll show you guys the main difference. As you can see, on the texture, it duplicated whatever your image is, and on the decal, it stretches. So a decal is one image no matter how big or small the part is. It can be easily distorted and not end up looking that great. A texture is an image that loops forever. As you can see, nothing distorts, but we do have a whole bunch of them. If we go into our texture properties, there's some stuff we could change. Let's set this to 10, and as you can see, it stretches, so we'll set the other one to 10. And now you can see we just have a bigger texture. There's other stuff we could do, like changing the colors. I'd say green looks pretty cool. And then we can also set the transparency of it. This helps a lot when you're getting into lower poly builds with like cute, styly textures. I'll show you guys how to get a ton of those for absolutely free in the next video. Textures and decals you will use a whole bunch throughout your modeling or building journey. However, that's not all. We have lights, which are very cool too. If we click our plus button, we can type light, and we have three options. Point light is a ball. If you click on the light, you can see what it affects. And most of them have the same things: range, brightness, color. Spotlight is a spotlight. Makes pretty much good sense. You could change the face that the spotlight is on, or you could just rotate your part. We'll rotate it like this and click it again. Now our spotlight is facing the ground. The last lighting option we have is a surface light. And similar to the spotlight, you can pick which face it's projecting from, but it's more focused on where the light's coming from instead of where the light's going. Hopefully that makes sense. There's lights, textures, and decals. This next thing is probably the coolest. It's particles. So if we put a particle emitter, you can instantly see, wow, this part came to life, right? We have sparkles, and everything we've learned so far can also be used here. There's a lot more settings and properties that we can change, but let's say we need our texture. Okay, let's copy our texture ID from the eclipse. We'll paste it on, and as you can see, now our eclipse texture is going crazy. This looks a lot better if you have a transparent image, but I'm trying to make these quick to not take up too much of your time. We could change the size. Let's go 5. Let's go 1. Super simple. Lifetime is how long the particle is going to last. Right now we have 5,10, which means some could last 5, some could last 10, and some could last anywhere in between. Let's say we want this to be 1 and 3. Now, as you can see, they last a lot less time. We could change our rate to 5 if we don't want them. Wow, I put it to 520. We could change our rate to 5 if we don't want them to be super crazy all the time. And there's things like rotation, speed, spread angle, etc., which are all pretty self-explanatory. Let's turn up its light emission to 1, which is kind of cool. If we made them a little bit more transparent, we might be able to almost get rid of the black background, which kind of looks white now. And maybe we'll turn these to our green again. As you can see, there's so much you could do with particles, textures, decals, lights, etc. And when you start combining everything together that we've learned so far, you can get some really cool stuff. For example, I'm gonna place one part on the ground. We're gonna change its color to an orange and its material to a neon. Now we're gonna put a texture on the top of this and go to our toolbox and type lava. We have the asset ID, so we're gonna paste it into here. And now, as you can see, we're getting a pretty cool lava. But that's not all, guys. We can mess with our transparency and maybe bring that down just a little bit. Now we're gonna put a surface light into this part, and we're gonna make sure it's emitting from the top. Now our lava has a little bit of a glow. We can also set this to an orange to make it even better. And then we're gonna put another particle in on the top. We can edit everything about this. Let's go make it a red or an orange. Let's make the size a 0.3, rate maybe 5, and lifetime we'll go 1 through 4. As you can see, the more stuff that you combine together, the crazier you can get on Roblox. And the more time you spend on a single object, the better it's gonna turn out too. But guys, that'll wrap it up for bonus objects. This is definitely where things start to get really, really cool. In the next video, I'm going to show you guys all about plugins and my top 3 plugins that I'd recommend for all new builders. They speed up your workflow a lot and can just do some pretty cool stuff.